Welcome to You Gotta See This Movie. I am excited for today because we actually have a celebrity guest star that was in the movie Tommy Boy. So joining me now on the podcast is Julius the Deer from Tommy Boy. Julius, how you doing?
Hey, it's great to be here. Wow, I'm so excited. Glad you could have me on the show.
Oh, we are excited to have you on the show. I need to ask, what was it like being in that car with Chris Farley and David Spade?
Oh, man, what an honor working with some great actors.
Yeah.
It was great. You know, it was a lot of fun, trashing that car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
I had this great idea. I thought we'd start off this interview by me trashing the set. Yeah,
Oh,
here we
no,
go.
I don't know. What, hey.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah,
Hey,
hey.
man.
Ooh, yeah.
Knock it off.
Yeah, woo, woo.
Knock it off. All right, welcome back to You Gotta See This Movie, a podcast for two guys who like to talk about movies as well as the deeper themes that make these stories more than just a movie. I'm Michael, and
I'm Jimmy Boy.
Jim.
No, Jimmy Boy.
Jimmy Boy.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing good.
Doing good?
Yeah.
Feeling good?
Feeling good.
I'm feeling nice. I got tie-dye on, so
Yeah.
I'm relaxed.
That's good.
and ready to go. So
So our YouTube viewers will know that I'm a little, little winded after puppeteering a deer for our opening
Wait,
scene.
what? That was a puppet?
That was a puppet. That wasn't a real
that
deer.
That wasn't a real deer?
It wasn't a real deer, no. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That deer has a long history of being on various movie sets and visual effects crews.
Was it from a movie?
It's not from a movie. No.
Okay.
No, but I have pictures of him inside the Men in Black car. He was on the set for Con Air. Yeah, he's been around.
Okay.
He's been around.
He's been in the movie business.
He's a favorite. Yeah, there will be some viewers out there that will recognize him.
Okay.
They'd be like, "Hey, it's Julius." Yeah. So.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what is the movie that we got to see today?
The movie we got to see today is Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
After his auto parts tycoon father dies, the overweight, underachieving son teams up with a snide accountant to try to save the family's business.
All right. Tommy Boy. I love this movie. Like, this was one of those movies that, as a kid, 95, I was now in junior high. And I had already known about Chris Farley because I watched Saturday Night Live and big fan of his. And so as soon as this movie came out, I was already like, yeah, I'm in. I'm going to go watch it.
Yeah, I don't think I went to the theater. I think I just saw it rented it or, because I knew I knew who Chris Farley was too. And it's like, oh, this will be good.
Yeah.
Man, this movie's funny.
Yeah. It is funny because I remember going with friends to go see it and laughing and thinking it was hilarious. And then renting it or buying it, and then watching it with my family, and that was like, they loved it too. I can remember like the things that I thought were funny, they really weren't laughing, and the things that at the time were kind of over my head, they were just laughing hysterically. So it was like a good family movie that we all enjoyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this movie is funny.
It's just great comedy. What Chris Farley does is because he's not trying to be funny. He just is funny.
He just is funny.
Yeah. And then the situations they get into are just hilarious.
So I guess this movie was considered a flop. Like it made money, but it didn't make its money back. So it was like a failure. However, when it came out on home video, because again, physical media for life, it was one of Paramount's top 10 most home video sold movies ever, and like made over 100 million in just the home sales alone.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
wow. So you must have like a gold copy, like a special edition copy, right?
I did have that VHS.
I was gonna try to get you there because you said you didn't have it, so I was gonna.
Yeah, I might have it. I don't know. I do have a box of VHSs somewhere.
Oh, okay.
But I cannot seem to find it.
Oh,
and
okay.
That might have been one that I saved.
Yeah.
Or I didn't. And I got rid of it.
Because you're waiting for the Blu-ray.
Yeah, and then because for a while I was taking all my VHSs like a moron, and I was cutting out a lot of them to make like a poster.
Oh, nice.
But that could have been one of them that I did. I don't remember, but man, yeah. Let's talk about Chris Farley because, like, I didn't realize it at the time. It seemed like it was so long. You know, we had Chris Farley for a while, but it was 2 years later after he made this movie that he passed.
Really? Was it that?
It was that soon.
Oh, dang.
So, like, this guy was truly on the cusp of, you know.
Wait, how old was he when he?
33.
Yeah.
33.
You kind of see why. I mean,
yeah,
he's not in the best of shape.
Not in the best of shape, and, you know, it's very well documented. He was a partier.
Yeah. That's too bad.
But yeah, so, and not only that, but I also found out that he was supposed to be Shrek. That he actually did the voice for Shrek.
Oh, dang.
And yeah, that was going to propel him even further.
Yeah, but so much of what he does is it's his on-screen personality. He's just funny to look at.
He's that physical comedian.
Yeah. And his presence is funny. So yeah. I don't know if it would have come across on, you know, as just his voice, because the stuff that he says isn't necessarily as funny as the way well, I guess it would work then.
I think it would have worked.
Yeah.
He going back to his physical comedy. I guess one thing I was learning about in this movie, that the scene where he passes out on the table.
Yeah.
And I guess they were like begging to, like, no, we have a stuntman for this. We're going to do it this way. He's like, no, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And he full on just falls right on his face.
Yeah.
Like a trained stuntman.
Yeah.
You know, he's not putting his hands out. He's not doing any of that.
He just goes for it.
He just goes for it.
Yeah.
And that was like, you know, comedy that was the type of comedy that like started comedy.
Yeah.
Back in, like, I don't know, 20s, 30s, Buster Keaton era. And yet he was doing it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
Chris Farley, man. Really, 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 it was really sad to see him go. And I don't know, like, I was also reading an article just about, like, what would he have been like had he lived? Like, and there was a lot of, like, people and actors that worked with him and just said, like, no, he was a genuinely good actor. Like, we were really just seeing the beginning of, like, he probably would have went into serious roles and probably would have just knocked it out. But they were like, he really was just not just a comedian.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
There was a deleted scene I saw where he was running back to the school. It was like one of the early shots where he was going to school, and he's like barreling his way through a parking lot. And he's like, you know, hitting the cars and doing barrel rolls over the cars. And I mean, he's crushing them. He's making a mess. Yeah. But when he was doing it, he looked like John Belushi doing a scene.
Yeah.
And the director said, no, don't do John Belushi, do Chris Farley. And when you watch the scene, you can tell he was kind of John Belushi-ing it up. Yeah. Because he, you know, obviously he was a fan of John Belushi and his work. But yeah, he definitely had his own style of comedy, which is just, you know. Which is weird, because when did Beverly Hills Ninja? When was that?
That was the second movie after. So, like, after this was Black Sheep, and then he did Beverly Hills Ninja.
Because Beverly Hills Ninja, it was full on Chris Farley. Like every scene, just do your funny thing. But then the movie really wasn't that great.
Yeah,
it just didn't work.
I guess, you know, after Tommy Boy, I mean, it was huge. It was a big success.
Yeah.
You know. Later on, he was getting like all these scripts and all these like opportunities to make new movies, but they were all bad.
Yeah.
And the director, Peter Siegel, you know, he was getting these scripts too. Like, he was saying, hey, what do you think? Well, let's make another movie together. And he was like, no, these aren't good for you. These are not, you know, these are all step backs.
Yeah, because he's funny. He's a funny person by himself. And it works. But I think what makes this movie work is that it's the dynamic of him and David Spade.
Yeah,
the two of them playing off each other, which is what's so funny. Yeah. He's just like a good natured goof, and then you got this snarky, you know, business type playing it straight, insulting, and it just worked so good.
Yeah, they really were. I mean, and they were, you know, friends, good friends coming out of SNL and whatnot. But actually, you know, I've heard like they were friends. They were really good friends, but they were at that point of friendship to where like they could bug each other.
Yeah.
And like sometimes they need to take a break from each other.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where they were in that movie. But like that really shows like that relationship.
Yeah. When you get close enough to a person where you can start insulting each other and it's okay and it's funny, then that's a good place to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know I mean, it was just kind of fate. You know, we had this slated to do this podcast on this movie, but they just a couple weeks ago or a week ago announced that they were making a movie about Chris Farley.
Oh.
And they already had the actors going to play him. It's Paul Walter Hauser.
They should just have his brother play him. Oh, no, but he's older now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Paul Walter Hauser, do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. I probably, if I was to tell you, he was the adult guy that joined Cobra Kai in the Cobra Kai show. Remember?
Oh, yeah,
Big guy.
Yeah, he was like a nerdy gamer guy.
He was nerdy gamer, and then I think he was a security guard.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that guy's hilarious, but I don't know. Like Chris Farley. Well, we'll see. But
yeah, it's gonna be hard.
But that guy is actually a good actor. I think he won an Emmy too.
Oh.
So he'll be in it. He'll be playing Chris Farley.
Is it like a feature film or is it like a streaming?
Don't know.
Prime TV,
I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Amazon Prime special thing. Huh.
But I'll see it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. I've got the Saturday Night Live Chris Farley special DVD. Yeah. With all his gags.
Oh man, like I can remember like Van Down by the River guy.
Yeah.
You ever see one of my favorite one was the and again he's playing just kind of a normal guy, but he's on a Japanese game show.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
And then he gets tortured, right? Because that's just part of the show. Yeah.
Right. Because he doesn't know what he's saying. He's just like, there's a bit of a language barrier here. I probably shouldn't be on this show.
Yeah.
But I think he keeps getting the answers right at first by just like saying gibberish.
Yeah.
And then like he watches the other contestants like lose an arm or lose a finger. But
I love the bit the lunch lady.
Oh yeah,
you seen that with the Lunch Lady Land?
Lunch Lady,
he plays the lunch lady. Yeah. Adam Sandler singing the song. Yeah, that's good.
Another great performance, and it's so small, but is the bus driver from Billy Madison.
Oh, I don't remember that.
He's the bus driver. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He encompasses, I think, every bus driver in the 90s that was just tired of driving these kids around.
Yeah.
And just this little small part. I mean, he plays it perfectly. But yeah,
I love the way the movie opens with him as a child. You immediately know his character. You know, and what's neat is that the way he acts and behaves is carried on and through his teens and college age and even as an adult, which is really, I thought it was clever. It's not like they just came out of the gate, with this dopey guy, that just barely graduated college, but they showed him as a kid, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think he's like, D+, I passed.
Yeah.
Which I can relate because that was pretty much me, man.
Yeah.
I was like, when it came to math or history, now it was good, but some math class, science classes, if I could just get by with a D+, I was gonna celebrate that. So yeah, and then just with his rugby friends and gonna graduate college and then he's off to the big world.
Yeah,
this is with his dad, which Brian Dennehy, kind of the perfect guy to play his dad, right?
Oh yeah,
like in size and big. And I mean, like when they're at the wedding and he hugs his son and he asked David Spade, Richard, he's like, hey, how do we look? He's like, chubby.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've had too much champagne. Yeah, so like any, adventure movie or hero movie, the dad or somebody has to die. And, at his own wedding, we see the guy pass away, but now he's slammed in the position to have to take over the company.
It was like a heartbreaking moment, but then, you're like, oh no, he's like, on his wedding day. But as he was laying there on the ground, he kind of had a smile on his face.
You thought so?
I thought so. He seemed like, I mean, I wasn't the only one that said, well, it looks like he died happy. Because it didn't.
Oh, Brian Dennehy.
Brian Dennehy, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Chris Farley had a.
No, he didn't die in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you said when he saw his dad, he had a smile on his
face.
No,
no, the dad.
Okay.
And it's almost like it kind of, is it too harsh to say it was a sweet moment, like a passing and a handing off? But it just seemed like it wasn't, like, I know this is tragic, but
he got married.
Like the story's not over yet. You know what I mean?
Right. He got married. His son's now working for the company.
Yeah. It's like it's probably like a huge moment in his life. He's getting married, huge party, all the friends are there, everybody celebrating him and his family, and he dies.
Yeah.
But it was almost like, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be all right.
Because that was probably the apex of maybe his happiness.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Like it wasn't, I mean, yeah, he might have had more happy days, but.
Yeah.
Especially if he knew what was coming. With his new wife and stepson.
Yeah. It was probably good that
it was probably good
that he ended it right there.
Never had that hurt.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I don't know about you, but I was watching this thing and I was just laughing my butt off.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is so dang funny. I mean, it's like one funny thing after the next, and they just that the pacing is great, the direction's awesome. I mean, you got great talent, great chemistry between the two leads,
mm-hmm.
and just the moments that they were together. I mean, it's just so funny.
Yeah, there's a lot that leads up to, because obviously this is like a buddy road trip movie.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that leads up to it before you even get to that point.
Yeah.
And yeah, like going back to the college and then you learn the whole Richard and Tommy relationship.
Yeah.
And what that looks like.
Yeah, and it establishes that they're not friends.
No.
Richard really doesn't like Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
But then, throw them together on a road trip in a car. How's that going to go?
Right.
It goes great.
Because I think it was one of those things where, like, because, you see Richard as a little kid who's like, oh, you're pathetic, Tommy. Get a bike.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where I think Tommy always probably thought he had to live up to Richard. He's always like, he knew like he was inferior, even though he really wasn't, because one, he had money.
Yeah.
Two, he was well liked, probably popular.
Yeah.
So all that kind of stuff, but there was still, he knew that there was something about Richard that he couldn't live up to. And so he's always trying to like impress him.
Well, I think Tommy wants to be everybody's friend. Likes people, not that he wants people to like him, because people do, but like if somebody doesn't like him, it maybe kind of bugs him a little bit.
Yeah.
What can I do to make this guy like me? And,
right.
And then you go over the top to make the guy laugh, or over the top to,
And he did. Everyone liked him. Except for the guy, the guy on the dock, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this perfect timing. And then, I mean, him, the whole scene with the car, and the car is supposed to be like this, his prized possession, Richard's prized possession.
Yeah.
It's like the one thing he's probably got in his whole world that, Tommy can't have, that is jealous of.
Yeah.
It's his. And the scene where he's just like, all right, put gas in it, and breaks the car door. And then the look on Chris Farley's face when he turns, he goes, what'd you do?
Yeah.
It's priceless. But,
do you have a favorite bit in that movie?
Okay, so I have found that, like, there are some movies that I feel like I've watched my whole life, or even just as a kid, that I replicate in my own life.
Yeah.
Just like little either sayings or doings. And so there's a lot. I forgot watching this movie that I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I got that joke from, or oh yeah, that's where I used to do that as a kid. Like when he's walking past the girl in the pool and he does the whole like, hey,
yeah,
just looking for the gym.
I'm looking for the gym. You know where the gym is?
I used to do that in high school all the time to girls, just because I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for the gym, wherever that's at. Just tons of little things that I forgot that kind of just influenced me.
Yeah.
Or what I thought was funny, and I would then replicate it.
Yeah.
His whole, I still to this day just, I mean, I lost it watching it last night, and probably always will, is when he's doing the sales pitch.
Oh, what, the toy cars?
The guy, yeah. And the guy was just like, maybe, like, I'm interested. He goes, okay, well, driving down, get in the accident. And
that's the gag I really wanted to do as our intro here. I get the cars going and
here
they come down, wee wee wee, and start smashing. I didn't have any cars to smash up. So.
But just like how like he has this whole story. He gets lost in storyland.
Yeah.
And he's just like, the meat wagon comes and the guy gets out of the car and goes, oh my God.
The car catches on fire. I can't feel my legs.
Over there puking his guts out because that just tells like you've seen the most horrific thing anyone's ever seen because, well, you wanted to save a couple money on brake pads.
Brake pads, yeah. So good. My favorite scene, and it's a long scene because they're cruising in the car and they're having their sing along song, and then the hood flies up.
Oh yeah,
and everything about it's so funny. The hood coming up and their reactions, first off, is they, think this is an awful thing, but their reactions are hilarious.
Yeah.
And they're swerving and everything and screaming. And then finally the hood goes down. You're like, oh. And then it comes up again,
well,
which is genius.
They have that pause where they look at each other like, oh my God, we're okay.
We're okay.
But then all of a sudden,
comes up again, right?
All right. Right before the truck's coming right at them.
And it's like, now you're laughing your butt off. This thing's going on. And then they pull over to the side of the road. And then it's like, what did he say? It's like, oh, did you put the oil in at the last stop? Yeah. Did you tell me I put the wrong oil in? Yeah, but you're an idiot. You can't latch the hood properly with the oil can still stuck in the car. And then that was hilarious. And then it's just like a comedy bit piled up on top of another one. So then they start insulting each other. And then they get out of the car and they start fighting. And that fight was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's go time.
It's go time.
Yeah.
The little guy's just swinging at him and hitting him and not phasing him until he grabs a 2x4 and knocks him out. But yeah, God, so funny.
And that was like, my face hurts. Not so much here.
Yeah.
Or here, but right here.
It's like the comedy bit started. It started when it was funny because they were singing together.
Right.
The whole thing with the hood, then the fight, and the comedy routine's still going on as they sit in the diner and it's playing, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they do, and then till the waitress comes up. I mean, that was gold.
That was, yeah. I mean, that's so interesting that you say that because I didn't think of it that way, but that is a long bit that keeps you going.
Bit, yeah.
Because it does start with the whole, like, they're switching radio.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this song sucks. Well, let me listen to this song. This song sucks. And then all of a sudden it's like some slow jam and they're like, well, you can change that if you want.
Yeah.
Because everyone has like their, like, the song that they're embarrassed to like.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they like it and they'll sing to it. And
that's probably my second favorite is when you're like,
but that's how it starts, right?
Yeah,
and then then they're singing together.
Yeah. And it's not all, and what's funny is like when they're singing together and they're totally rocking and they're totally into it. And when they don't know the words, they just kind of, that is something like you would do. And it's just so funny. Yeah.
And then that carries all over into the restaurant. And then again, the pacing's really great because then you're brought down, but then you're laughing again because then he's explaining how like, I get these sales, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I treat it like oh, my pet. And it's like, oh, you're a naughty pet. And then he's just like,
okay, but what was the thing that I didn't really get it completely? Like, what was the thing that made her change her mind?
I think she just felt sorry for him.
She just felt sorry for him, right?
Yeah.
I think that's it. It's just feeling sorry for him. And his performance on what this guy's going through just to get a bucket of chicken wings.
Yeah.
I guess, right?
But I think it was just the point that like...
I keep thinking it's more than that, but
no, I think I'm missing
something.
Like, because she was just like staring at him. She's just like, Jesus, like, oh my God. Like, you're pathetic. Like, all right, I can just put some wings in there. Like, almost like I'd rather just turn on the fryers again than deal with this crazy guy that just choked out his dinner roll.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I thought there was maybe more to it, but I think it is. Yeah, it's just simply, wow, I'm going to do this for this guy. Yeah.
That was like the other one where I think I can't remember. Okay, when did it happen in the movie when he's like really flipping out? Like, I can't do this. I can't sail. And that's when he like gets his hair all stuck up.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm failing. That's such a real life scene. Like, I think everyone has that moment just where like, everything's going wrong. this is ridiculous. I mean, we wouldn't do this in some guy's office, but yeah, I know I've been there and just flipping out and just like, I'm done. It's over. So going back to your, all these scenes that we're talking about. So I guess one of the things I was reading that when they were writing this movie, they didn't have it all like what were going to be the gags, the road gags.
Yeah.
And so I guess like the director and the writers all got together and just said, hey, what are some crazy things you ever experienced while on a road? And the hood was one. They said, well, we were, the hood comes up. I'm trying to think what else. I think the deer came up. Not that they put the deer in the car, but that was another one. And just, they just wrote down all these things and they made it into the movie.
I mean, that's kind of like, because, we write a puppet show for kids every Sunday.
Yeah. Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, a one of a kind, unique, funny puppet show. And it's like, sometimes we go with the theme, which is kind of hard to do, but sometimes we just go, what's funny?
You know what I experienced this week?
What would be funny? And then we kind of build up.
Or like that. Sometimes in a movie, like, I watched this movie. It'd be funny if we do something like that.
We just do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this is such a good movie from start to finish. Really like it. But all right, I have a do you know?
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, I might know.
Did you know that? So Ray Zielinski was Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd,
right?
Yeah.
He's the big tycoon guy.
Played that part perfectly.
Yeah, he says like, a little heavy on the pine cone perfume now, kid. Anyways, when they get to Chicago and they look up into the building, do you know what building that was?
Big building in Chicago.
It is not. But I will tell you this. That building hosted a very big Christmas party in the 80s.
Oh, Die Hard?
Yeah, it's a Die Hard building.
The plaza, the
Fox building. Yeah.
Fox building. No, that was the building.
That was the building.
It didn't look like it.
It's the building. Yeah.
The first Die Hard movie, the Tanaka Plaza or the... Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess
I say no. It is.
I guess it looked different at night.
Yeah.
It looks different at night. All right.
Yeah, there's a Fox building.
I got to go back and look because I'm not seeing.
I think when they're on the ground, they're actually in Chicago.
Yeah,
I do think that, but like when they look up, it cuts to like.
Maybe because I'm relating the parking lot lower to the upper part.
No, you don't. You just see the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know.
There you go. That building is famous for not only Die Hard, but for
Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
You got a deeper theme?
I do.
Okay.
I do. All right. So, again, the deeper theme for this movie was, at first I was kind of watching it, and then I kind of completely forgot, like, probably should be watching that because I was just enjoying the comedy of it all. But one thing about this movie is just who Tommy is, right? He's not, and I think he's to me, he's like a normal guy. Like, I feel like I've known people like Tommy in my life, right? That are, a little bit crazy, but they're good hearted.
Mm-hmm.
And so his whole thing is that the minute he heard that the factory was going under, he had all this inheritance, he had all this money, he had 50% of the company that was going to be sold, that he could have lived the rest of his life in comfort. He said, no, I will sell it all. I will give it to collateral so that we can keep everything going, so that we can keep everyone with their jobs. So he was willing
to give up everything.
He was willing to give up everything
for the family and the business and the people in the town.
Yeah. So you look at it and it was a sacrificial idea. Now I'm not saying like, so he's like the Messiah, because that's not where I'm going with this. But what I am going with this is that I do feel us as people, we as Christians, as Christ followers, that we do need to model that sacrificial attitude at times. And so I think, to me, like if you look at Tommy, what he is. And to me, he is like the embodiment of what a Christian should be. Now, is he perfect? Nope. He is absolutely not perfect at all. And I think that's the point, is that because no one's perfect. However, he still had that heart to sacrifice, to give up. Now, was he giving away everything? No, because he believed that what he was doing was right. He believed in his dad's vision and his dad's goal for the new brake pad division. So in a sense that he knew that he could get that money back, but he was confident that he was able to.
Yeah, I don't think he was thinking that far into it either. I'm going to get the money back. No, he was willing to give.
But he just knew that like he wanted, because the whole city, the whole town was going to be doomed for destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was going to be gone. When that job is there, people were going to move away. The town was going to just go under. So everything rested on that decision for him to sacrifice to say, look, I will give up my comfort for the sake of my neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that was just really cool.
That's good.
And it paid off. And it wasn't easy, right? No. And that's again the point of this life, that like, even, if God tells you to do something, it ain't going to be easy, so, but still worked. So
good.
That's a deeper theme in Tommy Boy.
Well, I like this movie because it really has heart. I like movies that have heart. And in that moment when Richard realized that, he's Tommy's friend, they became friends throughout that whole experience.
Right. And
I don't remember, what was this? He kind of had a little speech there before they went to meet Zelensky, or
he said, "You have a lot of friends, but I don't."
Yeah. So. Yeah. And that was a neat moment. I like that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think too, like, even despite Richard's jerkness, like, him always being mean.
Yeah.
Tommy was still, I'll still be your friend.
Yeah.
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 And he probably always wanted that.
Yeah.
Like you said in the beginning, like he wants people to like him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I think they genuinely grew to like each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had to have that tension, all those tension moments. And even the fight to even get there, but they did.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, let's get into it.
Do this.
Yeah. I know you like the Duke, so you'll probably want to keep it again this week.
I do like the Duke, but I'm ready to give it up.
Let's get into the trivia battle for Tommy Boy.
Trivia battle. All right. Are you guys ready to duke it
So
out?
I get to choose who goes first?
Yes.
I'm going to go with me. I will go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Hope you guys are ready.
I am not.
Well, here's the question.
Okay.
In the beginning of the movie, Tommy is racing to take a final on what subject?
Oh, it's History 101.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah,
it was
he's like Herbie. John Hancock. It's Herbie Hancock.
It's Herbie Hancock.
Okay, next question. This is a tough one. What does Tommy's dad say will happen to you if you get hit in the head in the factory without a hard hat?
They have to scoop your brains
with
a shovel. I don't think it's a shovel, but you have to scoop your brains something with something.
That's real close.
They have to scoop.
Can I say what it is?
They have to scoop your brains up with a.
I know what it is.
Go for the steal.
Do I get a half point? Right,
it's a ladle.
It's a ladle.
It's a ladle.
I was looking for ladle.
Yeah. And that's what Tommy goes. I've seen him do it.
All right. That's a half point.
All right. Also, I don't even get the half point. I
Well,
don't get a
no,
half
you
point for
didn't.
getting half of it right.
No.
All right.
I wanted that phrase. The whole
ladle. All right.
See, we're living in a New York State Library.
Oh, I
library
see.
world
Okay.
now.
All right.
So
All right.
that's what we're in.
Okay. All right.
Okay, next question. What is Paul, our main antagonist, drinking when we see him get off a bus?
This is your question.
No, this is yours.
No, it's yours. Oh,
Nice try.
He was drinking an alcoholic beverage.
That is incorrect.
No.
We go for the steal.
I thought he was just drinking something out of a paper bag.
No,
Like
no.
the bottle was hidden.
No, that's a different scene. I know what it is
much
now.
through the movie, he is doing that.
Yeah.
But this is the scene where he gets off the bus and he smacks the kid
I know what it is now.
in the bus window because he's making the face at him.
Yep.
Oh.
I totally forgot. I was thinking the other scene.
It's a very quick scene.
Yeah, I don't know what he was drinking. I don't know.
Can I steal? Even though it was my question, but I'll get the half point.
Yeah.
It was chocolate milk.
It was chocolate milk.
Yeah.
That's
Chocolate
correct.
milk?
Yeah, which I thought was funny that he was just drinking chocolate
Why
milk
would
out
he
of
be
a
drinking
carton.
chocolate milk?
I don't know, but it was weird. It was funny. And
That
then
is weird.
he crumples it up and throws it into a baby carriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, next question.
Your question.
My question? Okay.
Okay, Tommy tells Paul about some things you can go do to have fun in Sandusky. Name one of the things he lists. Paul asks him about other fun things you can do in this town.
No.
He lists 3 things.
Bowling. That's not one.
I'll let you take 3 guesses since there's 3 things.
Oh.
Because they
obviously they went cow tipping, but that wasn't the 3.
That's not what he listed.
That's not what he listed.
So was that a second guess?
That was
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Steal?
okay.
You guys steal it.
Go to the auction and cruise the 4-H babes.
Yes, that
Oh,
is
that's a good
one.
one, yeah.
The 3 things were the late night putt and putt or pitch and putt, go to a livestock auction, and throw stuff off a bridge.
Throw stuff off a bridge.
All right.
Okay, next question.
Which, by the way, let's go back to, he wanted something dangerous, Paul, right?
Yeah.
Cow tipping, that ended up being a dangerous scene. I mean, like
the
cows
stampede
could have ran him over. The farmer
yeah.
could have shot him.
But his
He kinda got
Italian
what he
shoes.
wanted.
I meant to look up like cow tipping on YouTube.
Someone says that's a myth.
That you can't really do
You
it,
can't
or
do
people
it.
don't really do it. Because I was like, okay, so somebody does it. What does it look like?
Someone has to have done it. That's why it's a thing, right?
Okay, well, we'll have to look at that later.
We'll just maybe go do it.
There's any cows around here, are there? We had to go like all the way to like Chino or something.
Yeah, let's go do it.
All right.
Okay. Next question.
Next question. Okay. What class did Tommy and Michelle have together in high school?
Is it mine?
Yes.
It was English?
No.
That was a guess.
Steal guess?
Science class.
Nope.
That was just
That was
a
going to
guess.
be my next guess.
It was actually a through theme with the history.
Oh.
He drops his history book as a kid. He's got his history file, and then they
Oh.
shared a history class.
See, I was thinking history, but I figured, well,
I almost said history,
it would be a
too.
different class
That's what I
because they
thought, too.
already did the
Yeah.
history. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Okay, next question.
I'm not feeling confident at all now. All right.
You might get this one. We see this thing twice.
Oh, is it for me?
Yes.
Okay.
What number is on the sailboat that Tommy and Michelle go out on? We also see Tommy in it at the end of the movie.
4.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
that's good.
And I noticed it because it's the same number on his rugby jersey.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Next question. This is a hard one. But I don't know. Maybe you guys wrote it down. Who knows? It's hard to tell what you guys keep track of. What is the name of the very first auto parts store Tommy and Richard visit? It is such a generic name, too. This is a really hard one. I'd be honestly surprised.
Goodman Tires?
No. Steal guess?
Downtown Auto Parts. I don't know.
That was close, but I'm not going to give it to either of you guys.
Uptown. Small
It
town.
was Midwest Regional Auto Parts.
Oh, okay.
gosh.
Yeah. That was a tough one.
All right.
Okay. Ready for the next one?
Yep.
Okay. What does Tommy first scream once he realizes the deer in the car has woken up?
Wait, whose is this? Mine or
That's mine.
yours? Okay, good.
Is it, man? Like I have. Is it SCHNIKES?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Bambi's alive.
That's close.
Something like that. Like Bambi something.
He doesn't call Bambi until he has his freak out in the office.
Oh, it's alive.
It's alive, yeah.
Alive.
He does it almost kind of Frankenstein, like, it's alive. And then it starts tearing up the car. I'll give you a half point for that.
All right.
That was close. You got to it.
I got a half point.
Okay. Next question. What is the name of the restaurant Tommy and Richard go to after their fight?
Your question.
It's something like the Cluck Bucket.
That is correct.
Oh
It's the
my
Cluck
gosh.
Bucket.
Oh,
Yeah, you got it.
the Cluck Bucket.
Well done. That was good. I did
Okay.
not know. I was going to say flows.
That was the Cluck Bucket.
Yeah.
What was her name?
I don't
Helen,
know. But
Helen.
another, did
Helen.
you know?
What's
that,
your name? Helen.
I guess Roseanne was supposed to play that part, but
Oh.
couldn't do it. Wasn't available. All right.
Okay, these next two questions are super hard because I was kind of running out of steam on good questions here towards the end of the movie. So they pose as stewards on the plane to get to Chicago. While they're on the plane, Richard has to get someone out of the airplane restroom, and he says that there's a time limit on how long that they can be in the restroom.
30-minute time limit.
That is correct. It's the 30-minute time limit.
There's a 30-minute time limit, which I thought that's way too long.
That's a long time to be in the bathroom.
Especially on an airplane.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
the joke. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, this is my final question. Now, if you get this, basically whoever gets this one is going to be winning.
that's not true.
Yes.
No way.
Yes. Because it's a half-point difference right now for the lead.
So you've got a half point lead.
Shenanigans.
You have a half-point lead.
All right, I can win this.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and this is a tough one.
All right.
What is the news channel that is reporting the incidents that Tommy causes?
If you know this, you deserve to win.
Channel 4 News Chicago. I don't know.
You go for the steal?
I don't need the steal because I'm winning. Right?
Well, okay, I know, but want to just go for it anyway?
Channel 7 News Chicago.
No, it was Action News 8.
Action News.
Action News 8.
Yeah, you see it on the van, and then you see the
Okay.
8 and the various
Alright.
reports. Okay, all right. Well, Michael, you've won again by a half a point.
Ooh.
It was really down to that last
Taking
one
it to the
there.
limit. Keeping
Wow.
the Duke
I'm
again.
keeping the Duke.
Yep.
That was close, though.
All right. Half a point win. All right. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trivia battle.
What was the lunchbox he had in the very beginning of the movie?
I looked. I think it was an I Love Lucy.
It was
lunchbox.
not. It was Brady Bunch.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Because I looked at it and I almost paused it, but I didn't. But it looked like, which doesn't make any sense that it would be an I Love
I
Lucy.
thought for sure that was going to be a.
Yeah.
I was going to
question.
do it, but it was such a quick shot. I didn't think it was reasonable enough to, in normal viewing, to be able to know what that lunchbox was.
That was the first thing that popped into my head with that image. It looked like an I Love Lucy, Ricky Lucy thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know why, because it wouldn't make any sense that he
It
would
had
have
like
that.
hearts on it or something.
Yeah, it was the
going on.
heart, like the looked like the Lucy logo.
It's Brady Bunch. Pretty sure.
See, the fact that you'd have to pause it to know what it was, which is why
I didn't
make a
pause it. I
question.
just saw it and I thought, oh, it's Brady Bunch.
I don't think it was.
Oh,
Brady
so was this
Bunch.
another like can of peaches thing where you just assumed it was a can of peaches, but it wasn't a can of peaches? Remember that?
What was that from?
It was an early
Ford versus
episode.
Ferrari?
Ford versus Ferrari. You're like, what was the fruit that the can of, what was the can of fruit that he hit him in the head
Oh,
with?
he threw him in.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, it was peaches. I'm like,
You
really?
didn't know it was
yeah,
peaches?
and you were insisting that it was peaches, and it wasn't peaches. It was something completely different.
Well, what was it then?
It was something else.
It was something else.
It was like condensed milk or something.
Well, anyways,
I'm not.
Brady
I'm not,
Bunch.
I'm not believing it's a Brady Bunch.
I'm pretty sure it's
I
Brady
don't think
Bunch.
it's
By the
Brady
time
Bunch.
you watch this episode, we'll know.
It's gonna
I'll
be
check.
canned peaches.
We'll know.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim. What is your rating and final thought?
Final thoughts. Great movie, and I like movies with heart. And aside from all the wacky comedy and me laughing my butt off, this movie had heart. But my rating is an 8.5, and I kind of want to give it a higher rating because it's really super funny. But there were some things in it that were kind of a stretch and a little awkward. But for the most part, overall, it was great.
Yeah, it's definitely stretch awkward, and it's a bit dated. It's 90s.
Yeah, the comedy's not dated at all.
Right.
But the movie itself was a bit dated.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's up there with one of my top 10 favorite comedies of all time. And for me, it's an 8.8.
Oh, okay, so we're close.
Yeah, we're close on this one.
Yeah.
And just always sad because it was you watch movies and now we watch a lot of movies where people have passed away, but with this, like, you genuinely, I enjoy it, but I always think, man, what could have been,
Yeah.
had he still lived, because again, it was only 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years with this guy. So, all right. Well, thank you all for hanging in there to the end. Hope you guys enjoyed Jim getting the Duke again. And please like and subscribe, and it helps us out. And tell us what your favorite scene in Tommy Boy was in the comic. All right. Thanks again.
Adios.
The deer was a bad idea.
Great idea.